Thanks, Tom. Putting this thing together, it starts to take a life of its own. And I'd just like to point out a few of the things that I learned and I'd like to share with you. First off, a little history of Council Rock Wrestling. It started in 1958 in the old school building across the street. The first coach was a gentleman by the name of Rick Perry. He had a record of 26, 46, and 2. They were the days when you could wrestle to a tie, which was really a stupid thing, but Vic Stanley, as you met earlier, he took over in 1966. He had a slightly better record than 26 and 46. He ended up with a record here of 248 and 92 with 5 ties. You met the current coach. In the 50-some-odd years, Council Rock has only had 4 coaches. I'm sorry, we left out C.D. Mock. C.D. Mock was, of course, an alumnus of Council Rock, went on and wrestled at UNC, and is now the head coach of University of North Carolina. Tommy took over when C.D. left in 1999, and his record, standing record now, and it's going to certainly improve, is 139 and 62. They got rid of that lousy tie thing somewhere along the line, so no more ties. A total of 523 wins, 222 losses, and 7 ties in 50-some-odd years. The very first guy who went on would be Blaine Shaky. That's 1964. A gentleman by the name of John Allen was the very first section winner, or winner of any kind, at Council Rock. There were 2 fellas that year that won in sections. Maybe my left hand will be shaky. No, that's shaky too. Al Good was another fellow who was a section champion that year. 1970, right there, you might see it behold those, that laser thing going on there. Mike Evans went on and was the first wrestler placed in regions in Council Rock's history. Starting in 1973, Council Rock went on a tear that saw them go undefeated for 4 out of the next 5 years. During that time, they compiled a record of an unbelievable 68 wins and 1 loss. That was started in 1973. And during that run, Council Rock got his first state champion right there, Kurt Mock. In 1977, it all came together, and Council Rock, as far as I'm concerned, I'm unable to check it out, but Council Rock did something that I'm not sure was ever done before in the state. There was only a 12-man team at that time, and I'll just read off the names. Kurt Lentini was at 98, Bobby Ortman at 105, Bobby Monahan at 119, Mike Donahue at 126, C.D. Mock at 132, Dan Gunther at 138, Bobby Britton at 145, Lee Martucci at 145, Mike Seipler at 155, Britt Mock at 167, Dwight Ely at 185, and Jim Annette was what they called an unlimited at that time. Of those Of those 12 guys, 11 of them placed in sections. Placing meaning they took first, second, and third. Of the 10 that made it through sectionals, of the 10 of those 11 that placed from sections, 10 of those went on to districts. Of the 10 that went on to districts, 8 placed in regional. They took 5 first, 2 seconds, and 1 fourth place. Of the 8 that qualified in regionals, 8 went on to states, and 3 of them placed and took state medals. One of them isn't here, C.D. Mock, but the other 2 fellows are here. Dwight Ely, wherever he might be. There he is, right?
He's little.
Dwight Ely took a 3rd place at 185 pounds. And Mike Seipler, he's here somewhere. He's our son. Where is he? He's hiding. He always hides back there. He was state champ at 155. So that was a fantastic year for Council Rock Wrestling, and it really put us on the map as far as the state's concerned. Everybody didn't know where the hell Newtown was, but they certainly knew who Council Rock was. Another unique stat that I found on the wall here, and it's funny, Jerry Velasco, he took a section title for Council Rock North over here at the 103-pound weight class just before the split of the 2 high schools. Well, after the split, Jerry went on over to South, and darn if he didn't make it there again. So his name, as far as I know, is the only one that appears here at North as a champ, and over at South as a champ.
If you go back to 1917, the state coach of the year, I think, is in.
Oh, hey, that was a faux pas on my part. Vic Stanley was called to center mat and was awarded the state championship that year in 1977 also. Thanks, Keith. There's a ton of things that I learned and I saw, and I could go on for another 2 minutes, but I'm not going to do that. I won't bore you anymore. But there are stories on this wall that only a few of you might know, you ex-wrestlers whose names appear here or were part of teams that spawned these champions. So I think that's what Jack had in mind when he wanted this thing done. The wall has lots of stuff to say to us, and so you can hang around for a little while, reminisce with your chums, take a look at it. Hopefully you won't find any mistakes. But then help yourself to some refreshments in the back whenever you feel up to it. Thank you for coming.